A surprising sprint winner, Vingegaard chilling at the back, but this is supposed to be the crosswind stage. The wind didn't come out to play today in Paris Stage 2. We had Pedersen and Lebert in the breakaway once again fighting for the KOM points. A few hills where they are available. NSN were controlling with EF for Binny and yesterday's winner, Luke Lamperti. Binny looked maybe the fastest at the finish yesterday, but got boxed in. And as you can see, they're heading south, but it's a southerly wind, 6 k's an hour. So it's mostly headwind that they face today. Casper Pedersen won the final KOM sprint. And at that moment, back in the peloton, which had been sleeping, Lotto Intermarché hit the front with Jonas Rutsch. They start pacing. But why? Because they got Vito Bright, who's on 4 seconds behind Lamperti. And with the intermediate sprint coming up, there's 6 seconds available. Pedersen's asking Nicky Terpstra what to do. Pedersen kind of wanted to go back to the peloton after taking the last available KOM points from what I could see. And when Lotto Intermarché started to pace, that didn't become a choice anymore for the two in the breakaway. They were caught, so Bright wants to take seconds there. He wants to take seconds at the finish. But look at Jonas Vingegaard. This is unusual in a sort of potential crosswind sprint stage. He and UAE, you see they're there with Sivakov, Pollard, Soler and McNulty are all at the back. So a different strategy for Vingegaard today. I guess he's got Affini and Armorel around him to sew up any problems or splits that may occur, which just crashes, maybe they will. So the intermediate sprint coming up, as I said, not just 3-2-1, it's 6-4-2 Bonies available. Ayuso's got a nasty sprint on him, big kick, and so Trek go all in for that. Ineos get outplayed a bit by Soderfist, Vacek's lead out. Vacek is the second Trek rider. Ayuso's just out of shot. Brad is in the green points jersey, wearing that on behalf of Lamperti, who's got his wheel. And so that's the quickest train on the right-hand side. Vacek, he saves this sprint for Ayuso. Magic lead out. He gets a slingshot into the Lotto train, drags Ayuso up with speed to Brat's wheel, and then actually boxes Lamperti a little bit, who then opens right. Brat wins the sprint, so he takes the 6 seconds that he wanted. They say Ayuso nailed Lamperti at the line. We never saw the finish photo, but Ayuso takes 4 seconds, not just 2. So pretty good amount of time for, one sprint on an easy day otherwise. It's not like he's going to get too tired from that. They go back to sleeping. NSN don't have to control anyone, but then crashes start. And this crash causes what happens later in the stage. Vingegaard's caught behind the crash, but again, nothing's happening really. There's a few riders. There's a nice soft landing on the side of the road, if at least that's where you can land. Dunbar, though, he lands on the tarmac, but 2 sprinters are caught out. Phil Bauhaus, and most notably, Case Bowl, who was very good in Kerner last Sunday. He's the sprinter for Decathlon. He's won a stage of Paris before. Sani Dujardin also crashed, but Bowles crashed, and he's hurt. And so even though he gets back on, he clearly gives the word to the car that he's not going to play a role in the final sprint today. And so that will affect what happens later, which is Dan Holer, who was also magic in Kerner, dancing away in front of everybody's face, just riding away from the front of a peloton that was going nowhere. I mean, this stage was not going to end. It was just, there was no one to chase, there was a headwind, and now the road furniture starts, which is probably a good thing they put it in a line. Like, thank you, Dan Holer, on many counts for what you did today, because there's more crashes. Vingegaard's now caught out again. So the strategy of staying at the back being tested, and NSN are pacing, but you can see it's Bovin, and he'd been controlling the early break. So are NSN really chasing, or are they just keeping it somewhat stable? But it wasn't even stable. The gap went up to 30 seconds. Vingegaard's back in the peloton with 13 Ks to go. EF have their bluff called. They start to pace and chase Dan Holer, who, nearly 30 seconds, decent gap for the man who, great time trial rider, just strong rouleur. Bora move up on the right-hand side, and this run-in was sketchy to say the least, descent. So today they were obviously hoping there'd be crosswinds. There weren't. It was a headwind. So you have a full, fresh peloton arriving in a descent, twisty descent with road furniture, narrowings, corners, descents, with 3 Ks to go, and obviously it was carnage. Like, this right-hander, at least they slowed down for it, or had to, but The magic lead out today I'll show you was Mike Turnison. He starts to bring up Canter already with 1K to go. Dunholder's caught with like 600 meters to go. They still have this right-hander to contend with. Binny's just off his lead out man Askey's wheel. So follow Binny, follow Turnison, Sturven, and Canter. They get through clean in front. Binny is now having to take evasive action from the Alpecin rider who got a bit chopped by Binny's own lead out. Binny then stops and he just avoids crashing. That then blocks Vito Bratt, who's in the green points jersey. That's his sprint over. Zangler gone. So if you're behind that, curtains for you. Godon was just behind it, but you're still too far, especially with the lead outs starting now. So basically, you had to be in the front 10 positions here to have a chance of winning. And watch Mike Turnison. I mean, he's the MVP of today. He sees Vandenberg coming. He sees him coming up the left. Vandenberg, another magic lead out today, like he did yesterday, helping Lamperti win. Lamperti sprints in a big old gear as well. That's the lowest cadence I've seen on a modern sprinter. And Turnison and Canter, they just box in EF. Turnison moves him away, gets in front, doesn't allow EF to take front position. Pithy then comes over the top of Sturven, claims Canter's wheel. He boxes in Vandenberg, so there's no opening for Vandenberg to go right. Lamperti's just stuck. He's going to hope something opens up left. It doesn't. That's where the lead-outs go. Canter launches, and to be frank, in this field, he's the only sprinter apart from Lamperti sprinting right now. The others are more classics men, versatile sprinters, not bunch sprinters, and he dusts them off with a clean pair of heels to take his biggest win by far. He's been a reliable point scorer for XDS Astana. He started winning a couple of races with the Saritsa, the greatest lead out ever with him and Gonov. But that was in like Almeria, I think. Or maybe it was... Did he win that? Anyway, this is a big win for him. Mike Turnison MVP. He wins ahead of Pithy Sturven, Godon, Lamperti, Ploemers, Askey van Asbroek, Rousseau, Turgis. Here's what he had to say after the stage.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, I've been waiting so long for this. I have to say thanks to the team. The last couple of weeks were not my best. I had a few setbacks, but it's kind of a dream winning this race. It's such a high prestige, and I'm really happy.
Where did you find the energy to win today and the fighting spirit after all you went through?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to stay as focused as much possible. And I have so many high-quality people around me now in my life, and they try to support me as best as possible, and it's a victory of all of us.
It's nice having some new winners, though. I know if Tim Murley is here, obviously he wins both stages, but he's not here. It's nice having two new World Tour winners. So congrats, Canter and Lamperti. Tomorrow we've got the TTT. I'm very excited, and I'll see you with the recap then. Ciao, ciao, ciao.